Good morning. My apologies for the delay. I uh I came downstairs. I thought I turned the coffee on and got the fire going. I got the coffee going. Came downstairs to get the stream set up. When I got the stream set up, sent out the link. I went upstairs to get my coffee. My normal routine every single day, and I forgot to push the button. I'm like, I pull the coffee. I'm like, oh, what my coffee pot, my coffee maker's broken. No, I forgot to hit the button. So that's what took me an extra 5-10 minutes. I had to wait for at least a cup to come out. So here we are. Uh I see some chat. Let's go to the chat. We've got a lot. Terry, good morning. Zach and Porter, what's happening? Cooter says, good morning. Bo must be waiting for the boilers to heat up on his steam-driven computer and coffee maker. I feel like I'm living in the 70s with well, I guess we didn't have. I'm living in the 90s with my computer issues, my coffee maker issues. It's time to upgrade all of the above. What's up, Rich? Uncle Rich in the house. Jenny says the show was so good, Bo went missing. We're going to talk about the Madison Card Show. It was yesterday. If you read the description to this video, in one word, if I could describe yesterday's Madison Card Show, I would say different. It was different, and I'm going to explain why. Zach and Porter says we're going to a card shop today that just put batting cages in as well. P isn't sold on hitting yet, but hoping to meet his friend and friend's father there for some digging. Very cool. I did not do much digging yesterday, so we'll talk about what I did and didn't do at the Madison Card Show yesterday. The store closes at 4, and I can't promise you Bo will be live by then. I'm live. Jenny is heading out to a card show, and I will be catching up on shipping. Over 200. And I think Jenny had mentioned something on Twitter yesterday. My Twitter sales have just been booming in October. A lot of that has to do with just the inventory I'm putting up. Not only numbers, volume-wise of cards I'm listing, but also quality. I'm putting quality cards in they're moving. So my sales are way up last 30 days. Some of that does have to do with just what I've been buying and listing. So I think my eBay numbers up 30% over the last 30 days, taking into account what I've bought, probably about a 20% increase on net sales. So yes, I have bought a little bit more in October than what I normally buy, including yesterday, which I'll tell you. I can't show you because it's filling up the back of my SUV. Let's see. Zach and Porter says the store closes at 4. Oh, we just read that. Let's see. Rich says, well, it's funny as I'm looking at a Cubs set at work right now and thinking Bo must have these cards. Now I'm curious which cards they are. I'm going to show some I did bring in some Cubs cards. Oh, damn it. I didn't bring in my vintage. I picked up some vintage as well. I might have to run into the other room to grab the vintage I picked up. Let's see. Jenny says maybe this is a talk amongst ourselves and predict the show notes. There's my comment. Forgot to start the coffee. Rich says, geez, now that's a good thing to do in the morning. We need Bo to get a Keurig so life is easier. And many of my friends have recommended a Keurig, and here's why I don't want a Keurig, because I drink a pot of coffee. So if I had a Keurig, I think the problem would be if my coffee pot was bigger, I would drink more coffee. And I really don't need to drink more than a pot of coffee. That's like probably too much as it is. My doctor one time told me, asked me how much coffee I drank, and I told him. He was not thrilled with the answer. And he would probably not be. I actually have a new doctor now. He probably would not be thrilled with me still drinking a pot of coffee every morning. let's see. So that's the reason. If I had a larger pot, I would drink more. If I had a Keurig, I would probably drink more as well. Or I would just get tired of having to make, cup after cup. And maybe I would drink less with a Keurig because I didn't want to screw with putting the Keurig in and all that waste. So interesting to think about. Which kind of reminds me the whole thought process behind that. I had a conversation with I think it was a first-time dealer at the show yesterday. And he was just asking the history of the show, and like I started it last April. And it started with 17 tables at the very beginning. And actually I had another dealer who's been around, and I don't think Matt set up at my first show, but I think he's been there from like the beginning, but not the very beginning. So I think Matt was maybe May or June, like the second or third show when he started setting up. And he may have come as a customer at that first show, but he's like, it was bad that first show. 17 tables in this huge room. Now we're at a sell out 125 tables. If I had more room and more tables, we could get more in. But I've maximized the space that I have and maximized all of the tables they have as well. And I got to thinking, I don't know what triggered this thought, but I got to thinking about the book by Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, in particular, kind of the 10,000 hour rule. In the chapter where Gladwell writes about the 10,000 hour rule, he writes about Bill Gates, and it was all about timing. And so if you hadn't read the book, it's an awesome book, especially if you're into like psychology and all of that stuff. Malcolm Gladwell takes us on an intellectual journey through the world of outliers, the best and the brightest, the most famous and the most successful. He asks the questions, what makes high achievers different? His answer is that we pay too much attention to what successful people are like and too little attention to where they are from. That is their culture, their family, their generation, and the idiosyncratic experiences of their upbringing. Along the way, he explains the secrets of software billionaires. That's the Bill Gates chapter. What it takes to be a great soccer player, why Asians are good at math, and what made the Beatles the greatest rock band. So in the chapter on software billionaires, Bill Gates, that's the chapter on the 10,000 hour rule theory. And with Bill Gates, it was about he had opportunities and timing. Timing is everything. And I think that's where the Madison Card Show success, it was timed right. And you see a lot of shows that are maybe not having the success of other shows because they came on a little too late. But I also thought in thinking about that, it's like, yeah, if I would have started 6 months, 8 months, 9 months later, it may not have built to where it is. But I also think, what if I would have started it a year prior, pre-COVID? And would there have been buzz around the show because it had been around. It would have been stagnant. Like, okay, the first few shows, we weren't in this boom. So it's like, oh, the Madison Card Show, blah, blah, blah. We like new shiny things. And the Madison Card Show came in April of 2021, right when card shows were like, we could start having card shows again, especially in Wisconsin. In Illinois, you couldn't even have card shows yet in Illinois in April of 2021. So it came on, perfect timing, and all of a sudden people want it. Dallas Card Show, perfect example. All of a sudden Dallas, people are flocking to Dallas because it's the only place you can go to a card show because most states are locked down. So I think timing is everything, and I think that had a lot to do with it, where if it had happened a year prior, it would have been too early and you wouldn't have struck while the iron is hot. If it would have happened a year later, there's all of these other, and it's too late. It's like, okay, we've already established this weekend we're going to this show, that show, etc. But then as I talk this out, the Oak Creek Card Show that Tony Gordon runs over in Milwaukee, he's been running that for a decade, and that's, grown, and he's up to like 150, 160 tables. So maybe it's luck. I don't know. But we had a good show. but it was different. So let's go through the chat. Scotty Dubs in the house. What's up? Good morning. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, I've seen this before. Bo at LRS like to connect for a half-hour pre-show to align on content. They must be running behind. I had two dealers yesterday asking who buys hockey. And I'm like, I don't want hockey. No, stay away. No hockey. But Michael got rid of his hockey to another dealer, Kyle. So, but I think Tom's stuck with his hockey. Scotty Dubs, what's up? Matt Marr, good Sunday morning to you. I'm wearing my Sunday morning scrubs. Got the SGC hat on because I'm going to talk a little bit about SGC this morning. I've got my Bucks hoodie on because Giannis had 44 last night. I'm not a Bucks fan. I have no allegiance to the NBA, to any team in the NBA. I grew up very early a Chicago Bulls fan. But then when Shaq came in, I went from being a Bulls fan to hating the Bulls. Like right when they got good, it's like, I don't like the Bulls anymore. And I was an Orlando Magic fan. I had the starter jacket. And then somewhere in the late 90s, I just stopped watching the NBA. And I've really only dabbled in watching NBA. I'll follow box scores just to see who I should be listing on eBay. But I have no allegiance. I have a Milwaukee Bucks hoodie because I saw it at Costco and I wanted to become a Bucks fan. Several times since moving to Wisconsin, I thought, I need to have some allegiance to Wisconsin now that I live here. So I'm a Badgers fan. To hell with the Brewers, to hell with the Packers. Never, ever, ever, and I never say never, but never, ever will I be a Packers or Brewers fan. So I'm like, I'll be a Bucks fan. I don't really watch the NBA. I'll become a Bucks fan. When they won the championship, I didn't watch like a single game. I maybe watched some action here and there, but I've got the hoodie. I'm not a fan. If I saw a Bulls hoodie for a good price on the rack, I'd probably buy it too. I like hoodies. So I'm not a Bucks fan, but I decided to wear it because the Bears don't play today. They have a Monday night football game. So the NFL is exposing bad football again in prime time. They can't cover it up with Sunday games. So another primetime game for the Bears. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Football against the Patriots. I'll probably suck it up and watch crappy football tomorrow night. We'll see. So I didn't want to wear the Bears hoodie today. So I wore the Bucks, and I'm like, oh, Giannis had 44 last night. So good timing. Max had a nice conversation. Had a couple good conversations with Max yesterday. He says the show was great. Had some great conversations, some good purchases. By the way, Max has like 500,000 NASCAR cards. If you're in the market for NASCAR and you are willing to drive to Wisconsin, I think you and Max can make a deal. If you're interested in a whole bunch of NASCAR, let me know. I can hook you two up. But he was showing me, it's so much that a picture, he couldn't just show me a picture. He had a video scanning this room, and it's like, here's boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. It looks like this card room, just NASCAR. And then I'm like, oh my God, there's more. So he estimates like 400,000 NASCAR cards. So if you're in the market for NASCAR in bulk and are willing to, if you're in the area or willing to drive to Wisconsin, I'm sure Max will hook you up with a good deal. And you can chat here. If you're watching live, say hey to Max. If you're watching this on replay and you're interested, hit me up and I'll connect you. Where are we at in the chat? So we've talked about, okay. Herman says, hoping to hit the quarter boxes again next weekend in Spartanburg. Man, I did not hit, I very flippantly looked at some bargain boxes. It was a different show yesterday. For me, and I think just the general feeling in the room. It was weird. It was weird. So I want to get into that. So I want to get through the chat though. Rich says, oh, the 2013 Topps Archive Stadium giveaway is the set. I love it. Apparently there was a base set and a season ticket holder variation. There absolutely was. I have both sets. There was so they gave them away in waves at Wrigley Field. So I think there were 5 sets that they gave. So like April 15th was set 1, which was like 20 cards, and then June 1st was set 2, and then so there were 5. But then they also had the entire, and I think it's stamped on the front. I have a set, and it's the set of 120 or 100 cards that was stamped season ticket holders, and all the season ticket holders received the set. I have a great story of how I acquired my set. Thank you, Brian Garza, who's the director of ticket operations for the Chicago Cubs. He reached out to me. We've done some trades. His son is a Blackhawks fan. So when I had like hockey somewhat organized, so I sent Brian some Blackhawks cards, and he sent me one of the season. He actually sent me quite a few like season ticket giveaways. So the story, Brian actually was the brain behind that set. He was in a Walmart, and he kind of dabbles in cards, and he's a card collector. He was in Walmart ahead of the 2013 season and saw Topps Archives. And he's like, wow, these are really cool. And they had done, I think in 2012, the Cubs had done, their tickets had like pictures of baseball cards on the tickets. I think that's how it went. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So he's like, it would be a cool idea to make cards. So Brian met with Topps ahead of the 2013 season, and Topps and the Chicago Cubs had a collaboration to make that 2013 Archives set special to the Chicago Cubs. So super. I actually wrote a blog. There's a blog post on my website, 1millioncubs.com, that I show off the cards. And I think I have 2. I think another season ticket holder traded me a set that I opened, and I think Brian said I kept sealed. And it comes in one of those basically like in a like the hanger, like the hanger boxes where it's like that plastic and it's just you open. That's what the season ticket holder set came in. Let's see. Herman says, I'm actually drinking coffee this morning. Cheers. Dan says, morning all, officially down with that 500,000 card collection. Very nice. Let's see. Oh, we've got the sex bots in the house. Where are we at? Cooter says, put a Keurig in the card room so you can refill during the show and go 2 hours every day. Hey, that's a great idea. In the new house, I may do that. I think I'm gonna, because my card room, it's a bigger house, and my card room and office will be in the basement on the very far end. So I'll have to walk across. It actually might take me less time to go. I'll have stairs from the garage, which is for having many boxes of cards to unload is awesome. So it may be quicker if I go up the stairs into the garage, into the kitchen, than going through the basement up the stairs across the house. So let's see. So I think I may do a coffee maker in the basement next year when we move in. Max says, don't discount your efforts though. You deserve a lot of the credit even starting the show. Sure, timing was perfect, but that's just a small part of it. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. Ray from Philly. Go Phillies. I got to root for Philly because, man, I love Kyle Schwarber. And I was thinking about this morning because I saw a video of Kyle Schwarber and Yu Darvish, just hugging and talking and having a good time. Schwarber hit a home run off Yu Darvish, and man, I miss Schwarber. But I also feel great that he's experiencing playoff baseball, because if he was still in a Cubs uniform, he would be golfing. So I'm happy for Kyle Schwarber, even though I would rather him be in Chicago. So I am rooting for the Phillies because of I love Kyle Schwarber. Let's see. Max says, appreciate the shout out on that, sir. Just a few cards. Rich says, damn, the sex bots are back and we did not even tempt them in any way. I know. Fall Creek Collectibles, what is up? Zach is out. Have a great day. You as well. Enjoy those bargain boxes. Tracy, good morning to you. Max also misses Schwarbs. He's such, oh man, like out of all the guys that we had in that magical 2016 season, Schwarber's definitely the one I miss the most, even though Javi Baez. So this is weird because Javi Baez is my favorite, like all-time Cubs player, but I miss Schwarber the most. And that's probably because Schwarber's hitting home runs in the playoffs and Javier Baez is golfing and coming off a season where he hit like 198. So that probably has something to do with it. But Rizzo was awesome, but I would probably say I'm more of a Schwarber fan than Rizzo and Bryant. And even though I love Baez, Schwarber's awesome. Max says, rooting for the Phillies too. Stott played for the Northwoods team here, so got to talk with him a few times. Super guy. Nice. I pulled out of the collection I bought last weekend. There was a Bryson Stott first Bowman, like sky blue, that I have listed. It may have sold. I don't know. Well, let's see. I think it's probably in this pile right here. If I didn't sell it. Oh, no. Maybe it's in this pile. But yeah, I'm trying to find. Oh, these are the cards I just listed. I did buy a pro debut case or 2 jumbo cases. Oh, there's an Alec Baum sky blue chrome. I don't know if he's playing or playing well. Maybe I did sell that Stott. So anyway, where are we at in the chat? Rich says the thing with Schwarber is he's like an everyman, while Baez has those skills we don't ever have a chance of having. Absolutely. So my Schwarber memory was Cubs convention 2015. Yeah, it had to have been 2015. And we were at Kerry Wood's fundraiser. And me and my buddy Dave would get there early. As soon as the opening ceremonies at the convention ended, we would and the fundraiser was like, how did they say it? I'm not into fashion. So I'm not into fashion. Surprise. I'm not into fashion. So I think they call it like casual chic. So I'm like, what? I had to Google it. Like when I saw the dress code for this fundraiser, I'm like, what the hell is casual chic? So I think I asked my wife, I Googled it. It's basically like, don't wear what I'm wearing right now. Don't wear a Cubs jersey. Wear a button down, wear nice jeans, wear some loafers or dress shoes, casual chic. So we would be in like our Cubs gear for the early part of the convention at the hotel. We'd go up to the room, change into our casual chic attire for going out, our going out clothes, and then we'd head over to Harry Carey's and we'd get in line so we could belly up to the bar. And we would like not go to the bathroom because we would lose our spot at the bar. We would like hold it as long as possible. 2015, we're at the bar. Might have been the same time that a lady next to me spilled wine on my phone, and Carrie Wood was right there bartending. And Carrie Wood picked up my phone, grabbed a towel, and made sure my phone didn't drown in red wine. I think it was the same year that happened. But all of a sudden, we're just like hanging out, standing at the bar, having beers. And right behind us, Pierce Johnson was a Cubs minor league pitcher at the time. And Kyle Schwarber was still in the minor leagues, had not come up. And all of a sudden, I just turn around to kind of look around the crowd. And there's Schwarbs, Kyle Schwarber and Pierce Johnson standing right behind me, just drinking a Budweiser. He went to college. He's a Hoosier. So and my wife's a Hoosier. So IU grad. So we just like start talking. I'm like, hey, my wife went to IU and talking about that. And we had it was a pretty brief conversation, but he was like not, I think he was kind of like, I think he was as starstruck with like the whole atmosphere, as a, like he was just a minor league guy. Like not many people recognized him. Although even then he was pretty recognizable. But it's not like people were coming up for his autograph. Like he could stand at the bar and nobody would really, like ask him for autographs or like, hey, you're Kyle Schwarber, because he was just Kyle Schwarber, minor league baseball player. So it was really cool. So we had a brief conversation at the Kerrywood fundraiser back before his Cubs career and major league career. Let's see. Cooter says Schwarber going off on Angel Hernandez was the highlight of 2022. Topps now should have produced a card. I love to see that. Rizzo never seemed as accessible either. They were not. Anthony Rizzo, like he's like a super good guy, but he's not very fan friendly. And I think that's just his personality. Like he's not. He would rather like go undercover and not have to talk. I just don't think he's a people person. It's not like he's not a nice guy. He just doesn't, he doesn't get into that. And Chris Bryant like is Chris Bryant is like a really outgoing, nice guy. But he was, and I guess he probably, I don't know, is he still a superstar? Like he's had some tough years lately. But not as accessible because they've got like security around him. So I would agree with that. Max says, did you buy that stuff off the guy that came up to you downstairs? No, I did not. So I will share that in just a moment. Let's see. John says balls are still landing in Philly. My balls land in Philly at 7:35 this evening. Rich says, and his wife does real estate, so she has to be into fashion. I guess opposites do attract. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Chicago. I received the coolest card from Mark Hoyle yesterday that I'm going to have to share soon. Awesome. Herman, are you going live tomorrow night? I'm curious. So Max asked if I bought the stuff off the guy downstairs yesterday at the Madison Card Show. So I did a lot of buying yesterday, which remember 2 days ago when I said I'm not looking to buy this weekend, and I forgot. And here's the thing. I bought from 3 different people. 2 of them were pre-planned. So I did have 2 of the purchases. The other purchase was some pre-war cards from Tim. Dealer upstairs has awesome vintage, which I think I only shared 1 of the cards on Twitter last night. So I might as well, since I'm talking about it, I'm going to run into the other room. Let me try to remember where I put them. Because I don't want to like scramble around looking. Okay, I found it. So these were not planned. I did not plan on buying, and it's like I'm buying enough. I'm not going to buy any Cubs. But he had some raw pre-war cards, and it's like, ooh, and they're good prices. And I've been subbing to SGC, so I'm building another submission pile for my buddy Matt at 5-star cards. So the first card I saw was this. I think this is a T207 Edgar Lennox. So it's got some creases, but I love the character of Beaters. So, and then the back, Recruit Little Cigars. He did give me a deal, so I didn't pay the full price on that. Let's see. And then this is one of my favorites. Frank Schulte. This is a T213. Rich can probably help me out here. Frank Schulte. Now it looks like a T206, but I don't know if you can see the bottom. The lettering is in blue. And then the back, it's a coupon cigarettes. And Tim was telling me that you knew the series. I think this is series 2, he said, because of the price of the cigarettes. So these cigarettes, 20, you could buy 20 cigarettes for 5 cents. Those were the days for you cigarette smokers. 20 cigarettes for a nickel. So there you go. The Frank Schulte coupon cigarettes. Then there was the Bill Killefer, and I'm not sure on this one. Bill Killefer. And then this is a cool, this set consists of pictures of 120 of the leading baseball stars of the American and National Leagues, made only by American Caramel Company. Lancaster and York, PA. So that's Bill Killifer, catcher for the Cubs. And the last one, this is really sweet. I've kind of started my own little Joe Tinker collection. So I'm probably up to like 8 original, like not like reprints or modern cards of Joe Tinker. Let's see. So this is so Rich, I will go. Yeah, I'll do that. So this is Joe Tinker. And I can't remember what this one was. Is this a T207? This must be a T207. Yeah, it's the same as the Lennox. Recruit cigarettes. So the Killifer. So here's the back on the Killifer. So I bought those 4 cards. He gave me a nice discount on buying the 4. And I'll probably sub all 4 of these to SGC next month. So, and I did, since I'm wearing the hat and I talked about SGC, I submitted 11. My next sub pile, I submitted 11 pre-war Cubs cards to Matt with 5-star cards. So check them out. They will be in Rockford in 2 weeks. I'll be set up at the Rockford Card Show, Northern Illinois Card Show at the Rock Church in Rockford. I'll have those quarter boxes ready for you. So Matt will be there taking submissions, PSA and SGC, and then he'll be at the next Madison Card Show, which is Saturday, November 19th. And then Janesville, which is Saturday, November 26th, the day after, or the couple days after Thanksgiving in Janesville, Wisconsin. So I did 11 cards, including my Ernie Banks rookie card. So I did my first submission. I subbed 5 cards. 2 of them were too brittle, and they would not slab them. So I'm hoping that the one I had a question about, and I did share I shared a few days ago which ones I was going to sub. There was a Grover Cleveland Alexander like strip card from 1921. That was one where it's like, ooh, this is pretty beat up. I don't know if they'll slab this. And then there's some with paper loss that hopefully they'll all get slabbed. We'll see. They don't charge if they don't slab them because of the fragility. So we'll see. So subbed 11 cards yesterday with SGC. Rich says coupons are obviously much tougher than T206. Looks like an E120 on a quick check. Killifer is an E121. Excellent. Thank you. And Rich wants to see the Tinker. So I think the Tinker is a T207. It's the same back as the Lennox. The Recruit little cigars. Does it say cigars on there? I can't read it. So there's the Joe Tinker. Is it going to focus? Focus. Yep, T207. So those were my Cubs pickups. I had a pre-planned. So Tom from Real Breaks couldn't set up at the show. Had pretty good reason. They were hosting a couple German foreign exchange students, so that was cool. So they did a trade night at the shop in Waupun, Wisconsin, on Friday night, and he said they had like 100 to 150 people for a trade night at a card shop on a Friday night. That's awesome. They do it right. Real Breaks does it right. Max and I had a great convo about Tom and Ryan from Real Breaks. Great guys. And so they were taking Tom and his wife and his son Trent, and the 2 foreign exchange students from Germany came in, and Tom dropped off a couple of pro debut cases for me. I did rip one of the cases. I think I'm going to hold the second case. I think I'm going to leave it sealed until December 10th. I'm going to do a Rip-a-palooza on Saturday, December 10th. I'm going to open some of my Bowman U. I've got some Bowman mega boxes from last year. I've still got some from this year. I've got a 2020 Topps update. I've got a bunch of Topps update from 2020 boxes, hobby boxes. I've got some basketball and football boxes, retail that I had picked up last year. So I've just kind of been sitting on those. I've got some Heritage Miners boxes from last year. So I'm just going to do a StreamYard stream, and I'm going to invite, if you want to come on and just hang out, I'm going to go for several hours and just rip, and it'll just be this fun time. So that's going to be Saturday, December 10th. I'll probably fire that stream up in the late afternoon, like say 4 p.m. Central. I may have to I may have to put it on pause and go grab a pizza. Maybe I'll have pizza. I'll have pizza delivered. I'll order Rosati's, and we'll just do a Rip-a-palooza and do it on StreamYard so you can pop in and pop out whenever you want. And we'll just have a fun old time Saturday, December 10th. So I think I'm going to save some of those boxes for then. But I had Ellie De La Cruz luck. Remember the Bowman? Now this is even though this is lower serial number, this is going to go for less because it's cards and pizza sounds messy. That's a good point, John. That's a really good point. Maybe I should not, but I'm going to have to eat something. So I'll just make sure I'll keep the pizza away from. I wish Casey's delivered. I could have some Casey's taco pizza. That's even messier though. But I had some Ellie De La Cruz luck. One pack out of, so this was a jumbo case, better than cards and chicken wings. That's a good point. So I had two jumbo cases. The first case that I bought from Blowout was a hobby case, which is great for like base. I really like the jumbo cases, and this is the first time I've opened Topps Pro Debut Jumbo. You get the chrome, which some of the chrome, has decent return. There's less base, there's less autos. I was a little disappointed in. I shouldn't say that because I pulled some fire, in relatively speaking for Topps Pro Debut. But one pack, so there's in a case of jumbo, there's eight jumbo boxes. And then there's like 6 packs in a jumbo box, I think. So in one pack, I pulled the auto in the pack was this Ellie De La Cruz orange lava refractor auto numbered out of 25. So there's currently one at auction on eBay. There's one listed on eBay, and I think it's listed for like around 1,000. But there's one that's ending tonight at auction. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Let's see. Ellie De La Cruz, orange Pro Debut. And last night it was around $200 at auction. So it's up to $255 plus shipping. So currently with 6 hours and 14 minutes to go, that's kind of an odd time, 6 hours. So that's what, 10, I'm going to use my fingers, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So mid-afternoon on a Sunday, not a very good ending time. So this is the orange 24 out of 25. Mine is 18 out of 25. So $260. So, hey, that's basically let's see, how much was it? I only paid like $680, I think, for per case, $680 per case. So if I could get 300 plus, I mean, I think it's going to end higher than that. I think it'll probably end in the threes, somewhere around 300, maybe close to 400. So I think since it's an auction, it's ending at a weird time. I think I'm probably going to list this for 500 or best offer. I'm going to wait to see where the auction lands. So that was, and then in the same pack, I pulled an Averson Arteaga red paper numbered out of 10. Arteaga was one of the top prospects in Bowman, but his prices have not. Some of the Pro Debut singles prices, I was a little disappointed. Like, whoa, these really fell off. Evan says your Casey's doesn't deliver. Okay, so I don't think so. I only have, so my like local Casey's is not very good with pizza. And what I mean by that is like, you can never order pizza. Either they're short-staffed or they don't have the ingredients. My buddy Ryan, who lives in Verona where the Casey's is, he said when he went to try to order a Casey's taco pizza, they didn't have the ingredients. The last 2 or 3 times I've tried to order, they haven't had like pizza makers on staff. And then, so I have to drive like 30 minutes to the next nearest Casey's. So, and I doubt they would deliver since it's so far away. So that's the conundrum I have with Casey's. Let's see what else. So what else did I pick up? So those were my Pro Debut. And then I also had a deal with one of my dealers, Eric, and he does a lot of bargain boxes, and you may see him at the Oak Creek show as well. He had some rookie boxes, 4-row rookie boxes. that I had picked up. I think I picked up his baseball box. He had at the last show in September. He had a baseball box, a football box, and a basketball box. And I bought the baseball box, and it was basically all rookies, all modern rookies, not like 89 Donruss, Luis Medina, but like 2021 tops, name your rookie. And not like the top rookies, not like Pete Alonso, Vlad Jr., Tatis, anything like that. But, stuff that I can still move at $1.50 out of my eBay store, and I can list it really fast. So I bought it $40 for a 4-row box. So he said, I've got a bunch more of this. Do you want more? He's like, I can probably bring 8. I'm like, 8? Yes. So he had 8. And then he texted me this week and he's like, hey, how about common boxes for baseball? And I'm like, well, it depends. What years are you talking? And he said modern. He's like, it's 90%, last couple of years. And I'm like, definitely. So we ended up doing a deal, basically $30 per box, because it was 8 and 8, 80 or $30 per box on the rookies, and then the basically the commons boxes. So I bought 16 4-row boxes, 8 of them filled with rookies. So I'm going to be putting a lot of cards in. What was my price on that? So, let's say 25 4-row boxes, 3,200 cards. These are not sleeved and they're not thicker cards. So we'll say 2,500 cards times 16 boxes, 40,000 cards. And I paid $400. So that's what, a penny a card? That's a penny a card. Paid a penny a card. So I think that's a good, some of them might be worth a couple bucks. I'm not counting on much more than $1.50 free shipping, but half of those 20,000 are rookies. So you never know. So that was my big bulk buy. So Max, going back what he asked like 20 minutes ago. So when Max and I were talking, Cody came up to me, and he's 608 cards on Instagram. Cody came up and he had reached out to me, I think actually in this chat, that he's like, hey, I bought a collection. I've got some stuff, really nice stuff. So if you're in Madison, and you're interested, he's got a good price on it. But I've bought so much. I bought that collection last weekend. I bought some stuff out of dollar boxes last weekend that I haven't listed. I bought 40,000 cards yesterday morning. I've got two cases of Pro Debut. So I'm inundated with stuff. So now it's like, now I need to liquidate and get back to break even as soon as possible, which I'm getting close on that $1,000 collection. I'm about 60% there, which is pretty good for less than a week. So Cody showed me, and it's a lot of stuff that I could throw on eBay for $1.50 shipped. And then he had a binder filled with like football. Like, I mean, there were a couple Tua relics, low serial numbers, like 99, 199. There was a Herbert relic. So there's some really good stuff in there. But it's like, I just, I don't have the time right now. Just with all the stuff, that I've bought recently. So I had to turn that one down. But if you're in the market, hit him up, 608 cards on Instagram. Tell him I sent you. And he had some good stuff. And he gave me some Cubs cards. Who else gave me some Cubs? And I got more. So Paul, who I think watches, I know he commented on the video. Paul, shout out to Paul. Paul and Quentin have been longtime. They've been setting up at my show since I think June or July of last year. So Paul gave me some Cubs autos. Frank DiPino, 87 tops. Now these guys are, and he's like, I don't know if they're authentic or not. And I've seen all of these guys sign, and these are legit as they come. Frank DiPino, Mike Bielecki, and I know some of these SIGs are, because they're very, like Mike Bielecki's got a really cool signature. 89 Fleer Bielecki auto. Damon Berryhill, 89 score. We've got Joe Strain, 82 tops. And I've mentioned I don't like autos on 82 tops because there's already the replica signature at the bottom. But I like this, that it's blue Sharpie and Joe signed over that. So you can actually tell it's a legit, it's not the replica signature at the bottom. And then Brendan Little also has a really nice signature. This is a Heritage Miners, Brendan Little. Great signature. So thank you, Paul and Quentin. Awesome dealers. They're in the, if you're familiar with the upstairs room. There were more. Brian Dayette, 88 Fleer. And then not the, but Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, early 80s Cub. So thank you, Paul and Quentin. They're in the upstairs room in the back corner along the wall. Okay, and these came, oh man, I forgot who's, I think Jeremy. Shex Cards on Instagram gave me these. So thanks, Jeremy. And Jeremy's interested in some of my bulk. So I'm going to hit him up this week and hopefully make a deal to get rid of some of my bulk, because I need to get rid of a lot of bulk cards before next summer. So those were some of the things. And then, Cody did give me cards. I don't have them. I think they're still in my car. A lot of my boxes are still in the car. So shout out to Cody as well for the box of Cubs. Let's see. Matt, what's up? Matt Weinman is in the house. Sorry I missed, but overall show was good. Walkthrough looked great. Yes. So let's get into the show itself. It was different. It was good, but it was different. So, and what I mean by that is I got there early. I had my Dunkin'. I had my sausage and cheese on croissant, with my large coffee, 3 cream, from Dunkin', and hit the hotel at I got there right at 6. Sometimes I get there a little earlier depending on what type of work I need to do to the rooms. But I'd gone Thursday and Friday to make sure they were set up and just move things around, put the name tags on. So I didn't have much pre-show work to do yesterday, just outside of putting up signage. So I get there and get the signage set up, and I did find something interesting. So I had mentioned, so it was homecoming at UW yesterday. And then there was also Gamehole Con, which is like a tabletop gaming convention that was going on across the street at the Alliant Energy Center. And when I scheduled all of the dates for 2022, and I scheduled them last November, I made sure to look at the Wisconsin football schedule because I wanted to avoid game days, home game days. And the month of September was at the time unavoidable because last November, the Badger football schedule for this season had a home game every Saturday, the month of September. So I just picked one, third or fourth weekend. This is what it's going to be. We're going to compete against this game. October 22nd, yesterday, was supposed to be an away game. And then a few months later, I look and it's like, oh, there's an away game in September. Oh, cool. I'm not up against a home game on September, whatever. And then I looked at the October schedule, and it's a home game on October 22nd. Not only is it a home game, it's homecoming. Oh, crap. So I was talking to one of the employees, and they said, yeah, game. I'm like, oh, it's cool. Gamehole Con is the same weekend as the show, because last year it was also the same time, and we had some, Pokemon and Magic collectors that walked the show floor that were part of Gamehole Con. And he goes, yeah, they scheduled it this weekend to avoid a home Badger football game, and it ended up being homecoming. And I said, I had the same issue. I scheduled this on this day because it was supposed to be an away game for the Badgers. And and then talking last month, I thought with the hotel, they're like, yeah, we have a lot of people coming in for the Badger game. I'm thinking, okay, we've got a lot of sports fans that will not be regulars to the show that maybe they'll, shop around. I don't think we had too much of that. I didn't, and who knows? Gamehole Con, I could kind of tell because they were having they had name badges, like lanyards on. So, and I saw a couple of those walking around, but with the actual people that were there for homecoming, I'm not sure. I don't think it added really too much, and they might have just been lookers. So I got the room set up, and I had one dealer come in about 6:45. And I had a guy walk in to the main room, and I'm just sitting down and I'm talking to John, the dealer. And I had about a dozen first-time dealers yesterday. So, I don't recognize them. So I didn't recognize this. So I assumed he was a first-time dealer. So I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Bo. I can get you to your table. And he goes, oh, no, I'm just a customer. I got here early. I drove up from Cedar Rapids. So, man, that's a 3-hour drive, I think. So he was probably on the road at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So he's like, I thought maybe a couple dealers would be here, and I'm like, okay, well, John's like, well, here, I've got this set up, so you can start looking here. So we had really early birds, and I think so the show opens at 9. I think by 7:30, I already had at least a dozen people walking the show floor as early as 7:30, 8 o'clock. So there were, and I'm like, this is a really good sign. And typically when you have like a nice rush or like early, like pre-show, it seems like it's going to be a sign of a really good, well-attended show. And that really wasn't the case. It was, I think we probably had a similar amount, maybe a little more foot traffic than last month, and last month was down. And I do know, one of the dealers said there's just less money in the room, and that's for many reasons. The market is down, but what market isn't down right now? So I think that was it was different, where I had, like, I don't think I've ever had this many people in the room at 8 o'clock shopping. And then it reminded me of like the early days, because by noon it was like dead. And like by 1, dealers are packing up, and it's like, does the show go till 3? I'm like, you can pack up anytime. Like, there, if nobody's been to your table in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like, just pack up and go. It's like, you don't have to stay till 3. The Badger game kicks off at 2:30. So the earlier we all get out of here, the earlier I can go watch the rest of the Badger football game. So it was kind of bizarre in that sense, where we never had a rush. Like, sometimes you'll have like the early birds, and then at 9 o'clock, 9:30, there's this rush of people. And then it just kind of peters out the rest of the way. And there was never a rush. It was just steady. The upstairs room, man, was really warm, like sweaty warm. And the downstairs room was really comfortable. So I spent more time in the downstairs room because the air conditioner was nice and working. And I expected, so, and I can explain, it's really beyond anyone's control with the thermostat in the rooms, because of the just the circuit they're on. And when it's really hot or really cold, it's gonna vary. They may crank the heat up, so it's kind of like this room might be really hot because the heat is cranked, because out in the lobby the door's always opening, so they have to crank the heat up so it's comfortable in the lobby. But that heat in this room is gonna be hot. And then vice versa in the summer, where they've got to crank the air, so it's going to be super cold in one room over the other. So unfortunately, that's kind of beyond control. But that's kind of the story behind that. Let's see. Matt says, you can call me Mr. Yankee. My shop's name. There you go, Mr. Yankee. Are you on? I don't know, Matt, if I follow you on any social medias. Drop your social media. Actually, let's give you a wrench so you can drop, if you have any links. Drop them in the chat. So yeah, it was a different, and for me, it was different because I didn't shop bar. I looked through so many bargain boxes last weekend at the Midwest premiere that it was just kind of like, I don't really want to, I have plenty to look through, cases of Pro Debut, 16 monster boxes. I don't need to shop around. So I turned down the deal that I talked about, that Max asked about, the deal with Cody. I turned that one down, and then Kyle, one of my dealers, had some boxes as well that I had to turn down. It's like, I've just got so much stuff that I don't need to be adding anymore. So overall, good show. Good show. No bad stuff, no theft reports, and all that stuff. So I get a weekend off, which is going to be much needed next weekend, which is going into Halloween. So so it's going to be nice to get caught up. Today, I have over 200 cards to ship out, 200 transactions to ship out on eBay. So yeah, next weekend's going to be nice, just gives me some extra time to catch up, so I'm not too far behind. It's a cleaning before the cleaners come day also, which sucks. It's because they always come on Monday, and I'm usually like, Sunday's my shipping day, and it's like, damn it, now I have to go clean. And it's not cleaning, it's picking up, because my rec room is just filled with Right now, empty packs and boxes from Pro Debut ripping, boxes from last weekend, and just all kinds of crap. So overall, a good show, just different. Zach and Porter's playing catch up. Watch Chris Bryant getting inked by Greg Maddux on YouTube. Getting linked by Greg Maddux on YouTube. Great stuff. What else do I have? Was there anything else I wanted to touch on? I don't think so. I came home much different though last night compared to last weekend, where the Midwest premiere was 2 days, and I think everybody I talked to was like, "Man, I was so tired on Sunday," but a lot of great feedback on, "Oh, the turf saved me." The turf was so comfortable, and it's like, yeah, I can't imagine if I was on concrete for 2 straight days. I don't know how, and I guess I do it at the National. Like, I'm on my feet from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the National for 4 or 5 days. Uh, uh, Maybe the adrenaline is just carrying me each day. But I came home last night and I was like itching to rip. Like, I came downstairs, fired up the Badger game, ripped my case of Pro Debut, did some listing, went upstairs, listed some cards from the couch. I was watching, my wife had gone, through real estate. She was in a suite for the Badger game. So she got home and I was watching Halloween, the original. And then, so she's not into like scary movies or anything. So, and I've seen it 577 times. So it's like, so I turned it off and I was just flipping through. I didn't feel like watching football. I had the Alabama game on for a little bit after the Badger game. So there was a Christmas movie on Hallmark and I'm like, ooh. And so I turned that on and my wife goes, "Starting a little early, aren't we?" And I'm like, yeah, it's a good transition from Halloween to Christmas. But then it was one of those. So I like Hallmark Christmas movies, but if they're too cheesy, I can't stand it. So it's, now I know all Hallmark Christmas movies has cheese factor, but when they have all that, like, that music, that like sappy, crappy music. So there was a lot of that in the movie that was on last night. So finally, it's like, okay, I've had enough of this, and I turned on like Big Bang Theory or something. So Matt says, you mentioned a group stream where you go on and talk about the hobby and selling online. What was that name? Group stream where you go on and talk about the hobby and selling online. That I'm not sure. That I am not sure. Did I talk about that this morning? Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is. So that was that's the review of the Madison Card Show. Next show is Saturday. Let's see, Saturday, November 19th. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. I do have some regular dealers that will be set up at the Chicago Spectacular. That was unavoidable. I could not schedule it a different weekend because the Sheraton was booked. So I wanted to avoid going against the Spectacular because it takes buyers away and it takes dealers away. So it's not ideal, but it is what it is. So the show must go on. So I do have open tables available because I've got probably 6 or 7 regular dealers that will be out in Chicago. So if you are interested in tables, I will have those. I may, depending on turnout, I may just go to one room next month. And set up myself. We'll see where I am. I do have a couple first-time dealers for next month's show, so it may not be necessity, but we'll see. Just play it by ear over the next couple weeks. My next show that I'll be set up is in 2 weeks in Rockford at the Northern Illinois Card Show. It's the final church show at the Rock Church. So that's in 2 weeks on November 12th. And then the Madison Card Show is the following Saturday. And then the following, back to back to back. So I've got a nice 2 week off and then triple whammy. And then the Janesville Card Show is Saturday, November 26th at the Convention Center right off the interstate in Janesville. Matt says, you talked about it on a few streams. Sorry, I've been binge watching. Terry says Hobby Hotline. That could be. So Hobby Hotline is a show. It's a live show Saturday mornings at 10, Tuesday nights at 8. And it's supposed to be like a call-in show where collectors can call in and give their takes and all that, and a little bit of everything comes up. Product releases, news, all that stuff. You bet. Hobby hotline. Let's see. The economy is surely affecting people's hobby spending money for sure. Have you seen any uptick in NBA football sales at all from a couple weeks ago? Absolutely. Basketball sales have been pretty wild the last week for me. I think for me, it's two reasons. Number one, the season started this week, and number two, which is weird. Usually, you see that boom. I say boom because I'm reading Boom Slang. What's up, Boom Slang? Thank you much. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Uh, Usually, you see that increase before, like preseason hype. And with the NBA, I didn't see that. I didn't see preseason hype, but all of a sudden, week of NBA, I'm getting a ton of basketball sales. And I think a part of that reason also is because I've been adding some hits, some RPAs, some patches, some autos to my eBay store from the collection I bought last weekend. So I think that is driving new traffic, and then they look around my store and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to buy this Isaiah Thomas card." And I had a conversation with Matt Skaggs, who sets up at my show, about basketball, because he was looking to sell me a couple monster boxes of basketball over the summer, and I'm like, I can't sell basketball. And he's like, really? I do really well on basketball sales on eBay. And I'm like, I think it's just my lane is baseball, but now that I've put some decent cards basketball in my eBay store, I'm seeing an uptick. Football has been steady, but I have seen a big growth in basketball sales, especially in the past 7 to 10 days. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for coming out, for those that were able to make it. If you didn't make it and you want to see what the Madison Card Show looks like, my last video I published yesterday, Madison Card Show Live. I did a walkthrough, so that shows you the dealers. Some are first timers, some may or may not come back, and some are regulars. So some are every month, some every other month or so. But that'll give you an idea of what to expect at the Madison Card Show, which again is coming up next show. Let's see, Saturday, November 19th. So there you go. Let's see. Matt says, do you think there is any basketball product you would have done like you did the Bowman case, ripping and selling? No, because I just don't know the basketball market. I really stay away from baseball that I don't know. Like I know baseball. I know what products I can sell. Like Bowman retail, I know it can kind of be playing with fire at times, but I love it. So it's kind of, and I get it at release. As long as I get it at release and not 6 months down the road. Same with, other products. Heritage Miners and Pro Debut are unique because you'll get that rush release, but then you'll also have like steady sales through the winter months as people prepare for autographs at spring training or minor league baseball games the following season. So those are products I really know, and I try to stick to my lane, and I don't want to get too adventurous because my niche is buying bulk, like buying what I bought yesterday morning, buying what I bought last weekend, buying bulk at a penny per card, and flipping and selling those singles on eBay. So that's my lane. I try to stay away from wax, although I'm promoting Saturday, December 10th, Rip-a-palooza on my YouTube stream. Just gonna pop on StreamYard and rip. And so a lot of it's just a lot of it's Bowman that I've had sitting around. So yeah, I try to stick, and I'm even bulk, like, and I told Eric, who sold me the baseball boxes, he had some, what's up, Red Light? He had some basketball and football boxes, and I just we were just chatting, and I went through and looked, and one of the reasons I don't buy bulk basketball and football is because I can't scan them fast. I can't put Panini products through the feed scanner because they don't scan well. For some reason, Topps Chrome products do scan okay. Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome, those will scan through the feed scanner, but Mosaic, Optic, Prism will not scan through the feed scanner. So it's basically stagnant for me. And that stuff I have to put in my quarter boxes because I can't move it on eBay. And I'm not going to list from my phone $1.50 cards. I save that for, the $10, $20 cards. So let's see. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that. Like and subscribe. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Weekends, if you're new, weekends, I just kind of go whenever. Saturdays depends on if I'm doing a card show or not. Next weekend, I'll be live both Saturday and Sunday. No card shows planned. So tomorrow morning, Monday through Friday, we do go on every morning for Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central. So we'll be back on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central for Hobby Evolution. Like and subscribe. Have a great Sunday, and we'll chat tomorrow.